am using to put this here. If you're wondering how this little, we call it a lower thirds, some people call it a Chiron. I wear a couple different hats from but specifically I land more in the sales and customer success branch so I help our users discover learn it, get creative with it. It's been an absolute blast. We've changed, we've added a lot of things since I've been here. And I'm curious, Rudy, just because I just am, you said you're amplifying your webcam. Do you have a favorite webcam? What kind of webcam you're using today? I'm always looking for
Great
recommendations.
question. Yeah, it's crazy. So like I had an iPhone SC for a while that I was trying to use the continuity camera, and it's the quality I love, but it just wasn't as for me personally. I could not between different applications wasn't as super reliable. And so right now I have a old school Logitech Brio, and I've had it since I think when it first came out. I think one of the earlier 4K webcams, and I love it. I haven't had any issues with it since. What product are you using?
Very cool. I was similar road to you. I didn't end at the same result, but I started at the same spot. I used my iPhone for the first 3 or 4 years of the pandemic. I loved the quality too, but it was just such a hassle to like mount it, and like I didn't have my phone, so it
Exactly.
got to be a little bit annoying. So I actually did some research and landed with the Insta 360 Link
Oh
camera.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm happy with it. It's cool. It does some things I wish it didn't do. Like sometimes it follows me around the room, which is cool. And sometimes other times it's dizzying, but it also turns to make vertical video, which that's super sharp. So I've been very happy with it.
That is cool. Yeah, we definitely don't have that. So with the Logitech. So yeah, it's probably 16 by 9 was the big rage when we got started. So kind of want to see if we have any other folks that in the room. If you wouldn't mind, people that are in the room, love to hear what kind of cameras or webcams you guys are using. So just type in the chat, since we know where you're from. What kind of webcam are you guys using to see if we have a commonality or a common product that's in here? All right, so let's. Oh yeah, there you go, Mary. Mary has a old school Brio too. Yeah, see, tried and true. Elgato Neo. I'm not familiar with that. Is that like a small?
Yeah, it's Elgato. If you're familiar with Elgato, they make like green screens, heavy duty stuff for streamers. They came out with a Neo line, which is more for the business worker, and they made a smaller camera. Yeah, I've used it myself. I've tested it. It's pretty cool. It's a cheaper but it's pretty highly featured.
Never seen that. Okay, all right, cool. I'll have to. So to be honest, going back to this, like once I put this back on the top of my camera, I haven't touched it, since it's been, pretty tried and true. So let's see. I got a bunch of screens here. I'm trying to get us organized. What I love to do, Michael, is let me share my screen because I want to like officially get us started. We were just kind of warming up, letting folks get in, making sure that the internet grumblings are working there. Let me share my screen here. And our goal is to really let's see this guy right here, share, trying to multitask. Boom, right? So this is the official, right? Switchboards, um, volume two, lunch and learn session, the art, the possible of amplifying webs can reach. So this is our goal here, right? So if you don't mind to give a quick background, this is me. This is my face. I'm Rudy Ellis, right? I been in this space for 16 plus years in live video streaming. Worked with all different types of cool companies. And really our goal is to make it easy for you as a content publisher. Right now we're focusing in public sector, customers making live events, city council meetings, policy changes, making sure that that content is reaching the constituents and citizens that matter. But in the past, we worked with all different types of companies, from sports teams to TV stations, really taking live video and connecting it to their networks, their communities, third-party channels that are engaged in the content that they're building. And so our goal is to continue, like I said, to become an education source and bring cool technologies, bring cool partners for you guys to learn, ask questions, and honestly, we're looking at products that we think complement what we've built, and so we want to, begin to start those conversations and see if we were able to connect it too. So, Michael, what I'm gonna do is stop sharing and then see if you want to kind of give a little intro on yourself as well.
Sure. Well, if you want to just actually, while you want to share that out, I have a slide just like yours before if you want to just pull that up,
Oh,
is that
you
all
do?
right?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I
let me
added one
check.
in there just to kind of mimic your flow.
I love it. I love it. There we go.
Followed your lead, Rudy. Yeah. So Michael, again, if you're just joining, or if you do this more about my professional career, Michael Prokupka. I've been with now for 3 years, and you can see the 10 plus years of industry experience. When I'm saying industry, I mean tech. I've been in video for 3, but I've been in tech for 10. I've been out of, but I've actually have, if you count my teaching experience, if you see that my previous companies, 2 of those are schools. My background is not in video. My background is
Hmm,
in math and statistics.
interesting.
I have an undergrad in math and a master's in statistics. I taught at the high school level, Cinnaminson High School, which is why I now live in Cinnaminson. I fell in love with the town, and that drew me to live here. And then I have also taught at Rowan University, teaching at the
Okay.
university level. Then I got out of education and went to a marketing technology company, specifically with a focus on big data called Quartile. Spent 7 years there. And so the fun story before I give it back to you is that I found at that company when I was looking for tools to train our new hires. My part of my role there was to onboard new sales folks, sales engineers, sales reps. I used to train them. They told me how engaging it was. I loved it so much that I reached out to and said, "Hey, I would love to come work for you guys. I think your tool's great." So that's how I ended up at
Awesome.
Our mission now is simple. It's really to make people better communicators on video, to be understood, to have a good presence. So I'm excited to go through this. I think there's a lot of cool ways our two products work together. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
It's a great segue, right? So for the folks, I just want to quickly paint the picture. So if you're not familiar with Switchboard and, again, like Michael said, so really think of Switchboard as like the HubSpot or Buffer or Hootsuite, for live stream management. So our goal is whatever video like we're doing right now today, right? So this event is being on Zoom, and from Zoom is coming into Switchboard, and we're distributing it out to our socials as well as social channels, and even I believe my personal social channel as well. So our goal is to really make it so that you're able to manage all your destinations, your title, your descriptions, keep everything, common and concise and consistent, and reaching all the different networks that you have, all the different channels that you have. And in fact, we have this feature called Stream Share that makes it really easy for you to then connect to third-party channels. So think about me being able to send Michael or Mary from this team a stream share link, and they can easily add in their YouTube and their Facebook or whatever channel that makes sense for them. And then we can take our video and natively stream it to their channels as well, so that their followers and their subscribers are notified and tune in and watch the content. And so this is a great way to really, again, is the theme is amplify, your reach. So we're super excited on showcasing how now you can amplify your webcam so that you're able to reach, more folks, as well. Um, Actually, do you want to take over from here? Do you want me
Yeah, if you want me to, yeah, if you want to stop your share, I'll
yeah, I'll stop
instead of
sharing
using
here.
slides, I'll use I'll use what kind of is all about to showcase what our product does.
Let's do it, man. I love it.
Let's do it. So I'll make myself, I don't know how big I am. So what I'm going to do is actually just share this window to kind of force myself to be larger. Does that work? You guys, can you see me large now, everyone? Like it's pretty good. Rudy, does that work for you? I don't know your end what you see, but I hope it
Yeah, I
works.
still see you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to
Okay.
assume it works unless someone yells at me. It's funny because when I do that, the chat, I was looking at the chat earlier, but it looks like, there's the chat. I can see it. Yeah, we can see. Oh, we can see your mini remote. Oh, okay, so let me take that out of it. Thanks for letting me know, Mary. I will move that out of there. There we go. So now, Mary, let me just confirm. All good now. Perfect. So this is what is all about. So instead of, I don't know, let me just show a couple things, and I'll kind of get into the mission. I'll make
Okay.
this as quick. I'll make it as quick as possible. But
Take your
what
time. This is here. This is what they're here for. They want to understand it. So
Okay, well
let's
then do me a favor, Rudy. If you have a question, just cut me off. That's what I want you to do. Like if you have a question,
perfect.
you want me to, let's do that.
Okay,
So
you got it.
what does and what it's doing for me today, and why I had that mini remote that Mary just talked about, which I'll maybe explain later, is acts as a remote control for your meetings or for your live streams, where it
Hmm.
is allowing me to put things in front of me. If I wanted to have an agenda for today's session, I could put an agenda over here, where I can say, oh, we did some introductions. I'm going to give you a demo. It lets you use your space wisely to be more engaging. So, hey, you can look over there, but then you kind of look back at me. You stay the star of the presentation. And if I wanted to show you that, yeah, I've been in the business for 10 years, but more importantly, I have 2 great kids.
Ah, I love it. I love it. It's
Right.
awesome.
So that's my daughter. That's Tess, and that's my son Mikey. So that says 7 and 4. Mikey's 7. Tess is 4. And if I wanted to tell you real quick that what I like to do in my free time is play tennis and pickleball. Now I can be down in a bubble again. So it's just allowing me to change that scene, be more engaging, change things up. So let me come back here and just say there's a couple of things I think you have to understand about Mmhmm. And I think the first thing that people generally ask about is actually the name. I think I never joined a webinar where someone's like, "What the heck? Why are you called Mmhmm?" So let me just get in front of that. Our CEO is a fascinating person, Phil Libin. He actually was the founder of Evernote, if you've ever used that app. But the idea that the real reason behind it, the funny reason is he wanted a name of a product that you can say while eating. So even if you're on a meeting, you can say "Mmhmm" as you're eating. But the real reason is if you're using it correctly, the audience, what you're explaining, you should say, "Mm-hmm, I get that. Like, yep, that makes sense. Mm-hmm." That's the actual reason behind it. Is that when you're explaining, you're communicating effectively, your audience is understanding, you're being understood.
Question.
Yep, sure.
What do you know any of the runner-up names? Was there? I'd love to know like what were the other names that were in consideration that were in the running?
I've only ever heard of one other. I don't know if I've never shared this, but Rudy, I'm going to share it right now. The other name was going to be Pheno,
Oh, definitely is
Pheno.
better. Yes.
So I don't know. The name "Mmhmm" is great for certain things, but going to a family party and telling, "Hey, Mike, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I work for Mmhmm." They're like, "You say you do what now?" So there's good and bad. It's very memorable, but it's
Yeah.
also a little strange to say. And I saw a question come in the chat that says, "Does Mmhmm connect with Stream Deck?" Yeah, I actually have a Stream Deck sitting right here, and most of my slide changes today are being triggered. We have a native Stream Deck app that you can do the work beforehand. You can switch slides. You can turn your camera off, turn your slides off. So yes, and as I click that button,
Michael,
you
real
can
quick,
actually see. Good.
for the folks who don't know, aren't familiar with the Stream Deck, what is that? Just 30-second
Oh, great.
explanation.
Great call. So Stream Deck essentially is a just like it's a remote control to adjust things. If you want to turn it runs macros. You can program
Ah,
macros into buttons. I have a
gotcha.
button that turns my lights on. I have a button that changes slides. I have a button that sets my windows the way I want it to do. I have a bunch of things that you can program to buttons. You don't always have to, it saves you a whole bunch of clicks and saves you a bunch of time. It's all puts it on like almost like a radio host would have for a show.
Understood. Got it. Go for it. Continue.
And I see the one thing they say about the video frame is choppy. Did he enable optimize? So I did not do that optimize share. I didn't have that option. So normally I would. So Mike Lotta called that out. That is a great point. That if you're seeing a little bit of choppiness, I didn't have the chance to select the optimize for video when I did it today. So if I am a little bit choppy, that's why. If you use it the way I'm using it today, you should optimize for video. So that's actually a great call out.
Michael, he is a stud. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Really love it. So the next thing I wanted to really quick talk about is I mentioned it before. It's our mission. It's really to improve communication at work and at school. We have a lot of educators that use Mmhmm to be more engaging teachers, whether that's teaching like classrooms or online courses. Really, the idea is we're challenging the status quo of communication. When the pandemic hit and we all went remote, everyone, whether we agreed, like we knew it or not, we all kind of locked arms and agreed that every way a business meeting would happen would look like this. Right? Just like we were doing before. It's like, okay, I'm going to share my screen and there's my slides. And it worked. I mean, most people just learned that this is the way to do it. And our mission was, okay, this is good, but it's not perfect. There could be better ways of doing it. Because as soon as this happens, it's like, okay, you have to focus on the slides. You have to focus on me. And then as time went on, people started introducing the concept of recorded video. Then they all started looking like this, where your head's in a bubble, you have, your screen share behind you. And then the main difference that I would say that Mmhmm has is that we allow you to be on screen with your content. We allow you to, if you can imagine it, you can do it with Mmhmm. You can be more engaging. You can be understood in a certain way by having supporting visuals, allowing you to stay as present as you need to be to get your message across. I'd say that is like the main difference. It's quick, it's easy. It's not as hard as some of learning Adobe After Effects or even
Sure.
OBS, but you can be if you're creative, or if you can imagine the way you want to to communicate, allows you to do that.
I'll tell you one thing that's a huge difference that just from a visual perspective. So when you had the slide, the boring slide up, that took the whole screen and you're super small. Like I can't even I can't, hardly see you, right? And so that's the person is what's keeping me engaged, right? And so I totally get that. And then when you go back to your shot you were on, like now I have everything engaged. And you kind of have like like a newscaster. It reminds me of like and that's probably why it's done that way as a newscaster, right? Over the shoulder.
That yeah, that's the vibe. It's like, okay, the shows that you watch, newscasters, or even like Saturday Night Live or late night talk shows, they have a certain style that we
Hmm.
mimic because you watch those shows because those speakers are engaging. So exactly right. And I'm showing my real room background because I spent some, I care. I put a light up on the wall, but you can quickly hide it. Right, I don't have a green screen behind me, but I can quickly hide it. If I don't want you to see that, I can add multiple things on screen with me, so I don't just have to have one thing. I can put something in front of me, something behind me. There's layering components to it, which I think is cool. You can and you can put things with movement behind it. It doesn't have to be static images.
Ooh, I like that.
And like I said, if and you even mentioned newscaster, if you wanted to almost, I maybe, you could put yourself at a news desk. Be like, hey, welcome to today's webinar, and here's tonight's nightly news. And you mentioned it earlier, we're big Eagles fans. Like you can kind of flip through content this way. And like I said, with the idea really is if you can imagine it and like you want to be a certain way, if you want to show up like a late night talk show host, you can. That's what's really
Yeah,
cool.
I definitely need some time with it because I'm using like 2% of this program right now. So the mere fact in 30 seconds you just went through all of that. And folks, like that was not planned at all. Like I love it. Like that's so natural. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, you're taking the thoughts right out of my head. So
Love it. Let me get, what I'll do to round out. Like I said, I didn't want to go forever on this. I just want to give some more creative inspiration. There's like, this is a more fun way to use, right? But it's useful. We like to say fuseful, fun and useful is a great blend. But there's also quite professional ways. I actually like explaining things this way, where
mm,
it's very like I have my space. I'm presenting content that way. Like if I wanted to show you what some of my favorite tools I have in my office. Again, a little different way of doing it, but that's another like professional way of going through a presentation. That's just different. Again, I'm staying present with my slides. You can kind of use the picture-in-picture aspect. If again, I want to show you another picture of my kids, I'm a proud dad. Or I can even like, okay, hey, today's meeting. Here's today's agenda. Where again, it's that simple look of there's my content, but I really need you to look back over here because that's what you're here for. You're here to hear me talk, not to look at slides. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of different ways. And if I just show another couple of creative ways, like you can even be like, hey, I'm a big video game fan. You can jump into a Game Boy and make yourself green and pretend like you're playing a video game. Or if it was time to look back on a month, do a retro, and you had a fun team, and you can be like, hey, let's reflect, and you can be show up almost like in a mirror. So again, it's that blend of how fun do you want to be, how do you want to show up, what's the message you're trying to deliver. And then again, I'll say it like for the fourth time, is if you can kind of picture what you want, all you have to, let me just show real quick to show how easy it is. All you're doing is I am just dragging myself around and placing myself in the window. It's almost like designing a PowerPoint slide, but you are just part of every slide that you create. So that's how working with Mmhmm is.
couple questions. So the application itself, is it web-based? Is it downloadable? Maybe kind of talk through that, high level.
Yeah, great question. And I saw a couple questions in the chat. So let's go one by one. Maybe I shouldn't be in a window. Whatever. Let's reflect in the window. We have a web-based app, and you can download. You get
Okay.
the same experience in both. However, if you want to pull it into a webinar, into a live stream, into a meeting, you need the downloadable version. Mac or Windows, you'll get the same version on both because we exist as what's called a virtual camera, and you'll need the downloadable option. If you don't
Gotcha.
want to pull it into a meeting, you just want to record, you can use the web-based app and just go to the website and log right in.
Got it.
I saw some questions here too. Can you invite a guest? So yes, which is I wish we had the ability to do it like on the fly, but yeah, I can basically in my app, which again is my remote control for this
Hmm.
meeting. Like just think of that. I'm using it as a remote control to do all these things. I could generate a link and say, "Hey Rudy, I'm going to drop you a link in Slack. Come join me." You could be we could be somewhere else. You can put yourself in here. We can position together. We could have both been at a news desk. So yeah, you can invite up to 10, actually up to 9, 10 total people in the app together.
Awesome. So yeah, it looks like Michelle is asking, how long does it take to create a scene?
Yeah, good question. It's really it's as long as it takes to make a PowerPoint slide is how long it takes to make a scene. So if you're using the word scene, you might be familiar with OBS. It's a little bit different. Again, it's just picking a background, what you want on screen with you, and that's it. So like if I wanted this slide over, to move, I'm just clicking and dragging. If I wanted a different background, I could do that as well. Like for instance, if I just, was in this room, I could still be in the circle, but now it's just a totally different vibe, totally different background. So you're just picking a background, what you look like and what's on screen, and you're just sizing things accordingly. It's really quick. So just think about it the exact same time as you design a PowerPoint slide.
Yeah, and if I can add, Michelle, he's absolutely right. So like I mentioned that I'm probably using 2% of the app. So, and the team will attest. Like I like to play around and test out new products. And for me, just having stuff centralized, starting to doing more demos, that's probably the extent. It is very simple. It is very simple. And being able just like going through and on the fly, you can have, different backgrounds, you can change your stuff, you can change colors. I mean, it's pretty user friendly and very intuitive as well.
Yeah, thanks, Rudy. That's a great, and I think you answered the follow-up question. Yes, you can certainly do them in real time. Like you're changing your
Oh
background,
yeah.
I'm changing mine. Or what we'd recommend is if you don't have to, if you can pre-plan them, like I did for this presentation, have them preset. So now you just click next slide and boom. Oh, you can switch from, this to being in the rain, from with one click.
Yeah, here's a slide I typically use a lot, right? So this is obviously our switchboard application. So I have the confidence monitor here. I have destination. So when I'm doing, quick demos and so forth, like this is a great way for me to still be on screens, people to still, have that, but then also really focus on the application. So yeah, it's just like how easy you're in Zoom to share a screen. You can do the exact same thing when you're creating a scene or a layout within Mmhmm as well.
Totally. And I don't know if you guys have any, I think of streaming, I typically think of video gamers. So if you did want to, like here's my Nintendo Switch, I can pull that in as a camera feed and I can play, that's me actually playing Mario behind me. So you can put a camera behind you, you can put a video game system behind you. It is
Oh,
really about, if you whatever you want to show, you decide what you want to put behind you. And as I mentioned, you can use it live or you can actually take it and record it. We do integrate with anywhere you're on video. And that's generally the story of what Mmhmm is, what we're all about, what we're trying to do. So that's the Mmhmm overview.
leave that up for a second. So like so where I see the value and one of the reasons why, when I started using a product and we started conversating is Switchboard takes content and distributes it, right? And so what we don't provide is that production, that graphics, that presentation layer. And so just how simple and easy it is for you to create this, you're able to, whether you're using Zoom or Teams or WebEx or Meet, you can now create this presentation layer in Mmhmm, continue to have it, and now through those programs, that support our TMP out, you're able to now go into Switchboard for your distribution. So again, just for folks who may have missed it, so this is actually coming into Zoom, right? So this is in Zoom, and then from Zoom we're going into our Switchboard account, which is doing the distribution for us. And so like that's a great way for us to have this interactive, high engaging, high fidelity and an event. And from a switchboard perspective, that's something we don't provide. We're able to now kind of connect it to and give you a much more amplified reach and much more amplified, webcam or video input. So yeah, so that's I think hopefully that kind of sets the tone for why we think this is a cool product for folks that are using our application as well. Um, I think Michelle has a question. Can you play a video or background music? Michael, I'll let you answer that. Yeah.
Sure. And I think I just got my video oh, there we go. Sorry. There we go. I got him pop up. Thank you for the host, whoever did that for me. I don't know who did that. So thank you. Yeah, can you play a video or background music? You can. You can in a couple ways. There may be sometimes you may need the help of a virtual mixer. If you have a slide with music and you're going to share it to Zoom, you can actually, there's ways to share your audio via Zoom. So the short answer is yes, but depending on the way you want to do it, you might just have to have the help of a companion app, or we can help with those settings. But yeah, certainly we have a bunch of people that do it. I actually use my Stream Deck. The Wavelink software on the Stream Deck is my virtual mixer.
Gotcha. Got it. Would love to, from a use case perspective or like a use case, are there any like cool customer stories that you could share of folks really taking this and getting like amazing results or feedback from them going from what they were using to
Yeah, I think there's a couple, to be honest. I think one of the more fun ones is like we have a couple coaches. We have one that was like a world-renowned ping pong coach who
ping
gives
pong coach? Okay.
video feedback using, makes it very engaging, sharing videos, giving feedback, which is like never would have thought. We have DJs that use it, like virtual DJs, that I think is super cool the way they're doing it. And then I would just say the branch of people making online courses. I'm amazed with some of the quality of the courses, the creativity, especially people that are like trained graphic artists who can really design things. It's amazing to see what they can put together with.
Are you able to like build like a recording or a show or event like locally and output that as a like a recording or archive or VOD? Are you able to do that as well?
Yeah, yeah. So you can, I mean, today we're using it live in this meeting, but you can also, it's very powerful, like, okay, turn Zoom off.
Hmm.
Let's record. And you can record it in what we would call chapters. You can blend the chat, you can reorder chapters. If you mess up one, you can throw it away and you can redo it. You can add things like overlays, transition between chapters. You can upload that and get an embed link, or you can download MP4 and take it other places. We got captioning, AI generated titles. We have a place where you can store and like make a series of, hey, this is video one, here's video two. You can put in what we call channels of video. So we only really scratched the surface in the live
Sure.
setting today, but in the
Yeah.
recorded sense, yeah, there's it's quite powerful as well.
So it's definitely more to it. That's awesome to know. So I guess back to your use cases of teachers or training videos. That seems like one of the ways that people are doing stuff. Whether they're not doing live, they can use that for recorded component as well. I love it. I love it. Are there any other specific questions that the folks may have? We'd love to kind of get your guys' feedback, on the application and what you're seeing here. Give folks a sec here. I think we may have answered them all, Michael. Tell us more about the AI. So
Oh,
yeah,
AI.
that's a thanks, Mary. That's a definitely a good topic. So yeah, I'd love to hear more about your guys' implementation of AI.
Sure, sure. It's probably not what you're expecting.
Okay.
I think that most people, again, I'm making a big assumption here, is that at least when I'm researching other AI video tools, it's, hey, I enter a prompt and I get a video, like it turns my text into a video.
Okay, text.
Or it
Yeah.
might or it might say, hey, I want to make a video about X, make me one. And generally there's apps that could do that. You can get like okay videos out of it. But our big like ethos and our big belief there is that we don't want to help people make mediocre videos. We want to empower people that are generally very good at this to make excellent videos.
Mm.
So the way we're leveraging AI right now is to really two things. It's to, hey, you're a brilliant person. You have things to say. We're going to help you get it out of your head. We're going to have AI to generally say, what do you want to talk about? We're going to ask you the right questions, prompt you to get all the information out, and then let the AI edit that video, add things like overlays and titles, and we'll give you a video. We'll basically get you started. Maybe it's your first draft, and then we also in our tool we'll have AI generated recommendations to make it better. and said, "Oh, but you on slide 5, you maybe should have went down this avenue, or you talked in circles. You should go re-record that." That's how we leverage it today. Doesn't mean that's how we'll leverage it forever. There may be ways we can make that better using AI
Mm-hmm.
generated images. That's how it is right now. It's going to help you. You have what you want to say, but maybe you don't know how to design slides. Maybe you don't know how to get the content over your shoulder. Let's get the stuff out. We'll help you get started. We'll edit it and trim it for you, and we'll get you your first draft. So that's, a lot of people use it as almost
Amazing.
like a prompt. Like, I'm going to practice my pitch before I go live. Let me see what questions might come up, and that's how we're using it today.
It's kind of like your own creative director and feedback loop all in one, right? I like that. So practice your pitch is definitely key. So you think about whether you're fundraising or sales calls, being able to do that and nail it and get that immediate feedback and build a deck that's answering those questions predictively. That makes a ton of sense. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that was even possible. I need to look into that as well. That's a
Yeah,
great
it was a very
question.
considered decision because there's always, everyone just throwing AI into the product, right? Like every product is like, oh, we're going to leverage AI. So we wanted to, like I said, not help people get to mediocre. We're going to help good and get to excellent, or help people really get their thoughts out. We're going to help people be better.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That's Michael. Michael has a comment there. It looks like he's a co-host of ZoomTestKitchen.com. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I will
definitely.
certainly reach out. That's thanks for the comment.
Thanks, Mike. Mike's long time video guy. So yeah, he's definitely a good person to connect with. So this is the perfect of that. Speaking of sales calls, so Mary has a good question. How can salespeople use to stand out both recorded and live?
Yeah, again, sales is so interesting because if you are better at sales, you make more money. So there's an intuitive reason to get better at the way you show up, to stand out from the crowd. I would say that we have people that are willing to try new things too, and I think the number one use case people are using is using videos to supplement their calls. Meaning, we only have 30 minutes together, but I'm gonna get 40 minutes of FaceTime because I'm gonna send you an intro and a recap. Then
Mm,
and the intro is going to make sure that 30 minutes we have is very engaging, very valuable. I'm going to be able to answer your questions. I'm going to be able to, maximize that time. And then I'm going to send you a video recap about so we can, again, more FaceTime. I think those are like the number one things. We also have people that pull it into calls, use it very engagingly to show their content, but I'd say more so it's that getting extra FaceTime with the customers via video. So when you hop on that first call, they already know you, they've already heard you, they know how you know. So then you send that video follow up. They can then share with executives. Say, yeah, this is what we talked about. Here's the recap. Here's the guy I spoke to. And that's the main way that sales folks are getting value out of it right now.
amazing. Yeah, definitely to pick your brain on some tactics that we need to employ as well. So I'm looking at Mike. Cool, Mike. Appreciate it. I'll definitely take you up on that. Well, cool. I think we're probably close at time. I like a lot of information here, people. Mike, what is the best way for anyone to learn more about and what you guys are up to? Like, what's the best way to connect or sign up? Oh, there you go. Mary beat me to it. So there you go. I guess that's for a free trial. But yeah, if there's any other information you want to plug, this would be the time for that as well.
Yeah, free month is you can use the link there. We highly recommend it. You don't have to, it's so easy to get started. If you do want to have a chat, you want to connect on LinkedIn, I would love to, be available there. Like I said, I'm available. I spend my time with users, talking to users. People get their first project out of the way. I usually help people get from 0 to 1. So again, I'll offer that up as a resource as well. Be love to chat.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, and I believe we'll definitely obviously have a recording and clips and if there's people want to rewatch this, we'll make this available as well. And then yeah, if you want to learn more about Switchboard, go to switchboard.live, and sign up and go from there. So
Yeah, I would also just add that, like, I couldn't believe how easy Switchboard was. Switchboard's incredible. It's like super powerful, but I expected to have to take a lot of time to learn things, and I was pleasantly surprised with how
love
easy
that.
it
Well,
was.
we'll definitely clip that for you to be front and center on our website. No, again, Mike, I really appreciate the time. Enjoy this snow up in your neck of the woods. Hopefully, the kids go out there and make a snowman in the backyard. And then until next time, we appreciate everyone tuning into Lunch and Learn, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks so much. Thanks for